When she called me from the health department that day, and she called me 3 times back to back to back, I was like, please don't call again. Like, unless you're telling me we're good, please don't call again. What's it going to be next? Good morning. Oh, are we going broody? Hey y'all, I'm Tiffany. This is our small town life. Thank you for joining me today. My family of 7 lives in a small town in rural Alabama, right here in the heart of the Deep South, and we share our life and what small town living looks like for us. We'd love to have you as part of our YouTube family. In today's video, I have a few things that I'm taking care of this morning, and then we're going to sit down and have a little chat about the farm stand. Maybe you've been following along with our farm stand journey, or maybe you're new here and want to follow along with our farm stand journey. We've hit a little bit of a bump in the road. We're going to talk about that today. It's not devastating, y'all. Just a little bump in the road. We're going to talk about it and some of those details that have gone into getting ready for this farm stand. I'm going to water my containers. There's a good chance for rain this afternoon, and everything that's in the ground, there's plenty of moisture in the ground still. I don't need to water it. And my containers would probably be okay. But just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and give them some water in case the sun does, because the chance of rain's not until this afternoon. So in case the sun comes out today, I don't want them to dry out too much. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a little water. Look, there's little plant babies. There's some more. Been putting a little bit of water in these pockets, just until everything gets growing and good roots. And then I feel like the water reservoir will do a good job. I just don't want these pockets to dry out where there's just little tiny seeds right now. We planted cabbages in that bed, a couple of flowers and peppers in this one. You actually still have a pretty good bit of moisture in them. Depending on what the rain does, I would like to come out here today and plant watermelon. We've got several varieties of watermelon that we want to plant, some Rocky Ford cantaloupe, and I also want to put some okra and flowers back here. But we'll just have to see. I got a few other things I need to do first. We'll have to see exactly how long the rain holds off. It'll probably start raining right now. I'm feeling some sprinkles since I decided to go ahead and water those containers. Because looking at the weather, it said that there was a 30% chance later this afternoon. There's thunder. Look at all the little blackberries. This thing should be loaded down. Let's see if we can talk about this farm stand real quick, or if it's gonna start raining on us. Now, we don't have any produce right now. Soon, good Lord willing. But right now we don't have any produce. So the plan was to open it with our baked goods, some jams and jellies, and our eggs, maybe some handcrafted items. And we were going to go ahead and open it. The plan was first weekend in May. And we thought we were ahead. Everything was going great. Some of y'all have asked about the paperwork and different permits or things that we had to do. And let me just tell you a little bit about that. Some of it has been incredibly easy. Some of it I thought was going fairly easy, but it's turned into just a little bit of a frustration. Not devastation, just frustration. It's straight up raining. I just watered that and it is straight up raining. Now I'm under this tree and under the farm stand, so I'm not getting wet, but sure enough. I'm also sitting here looking at some dandelions that are coming up, thinking maybe I should make some dandelion jelly, adding to my list. So we thought we were ahead, getting everything turned in, submitted, and we would be ahead of schedule to open the first weekend in May. Some of the things that I did were very easy. So in order to sell produce, now I'm in Alabama, and different states are different. Sometimes even different counties within the state are different, but what I had to do should be a good general idea for you. So in order to sell produce, I had to go to my local extension office and fill out a pretty simple paper. Actually, they just asked me some questions and they filled it out. It took maybe 10 minutes. It was mostly my contact information, and then they wanted to know the things that we planned to sell. That was it. Super easy. They gave me my papers so I could take it to, if we wanted to go to the farmer's market, I could take that paper with me to show that, I could sell produce. Incredibly easy. For eggs, now you can correct me if I'm wrong, if you're in Alabama, or give me some more information, because I've been doing a lot of research, and once we decided to go ahead and submit, I think they call it a certificate, I didn't really because we're going to submit it anyway, I didn't look into it real deep. I think you can sell eggs from your property, off of your property, without any kind of certificate, I think. But if you're going to sell them elsewhere, there's a form you fill out once a year and a $5 fee, and then you can sell your eggs. Because we may also sell at other places, I'm going ahead and doing that. That way it's just done. And, if I do need it for selling here on my property, then I'll have it. But the best I understand, if you're selling off of your property, from your property, you don't have to have the certificate for the eggs. $5 a year, once a year if you're selling elsewhere, and we're just going to go ahead and do it. Here's where the frustration comes in. So in order to sell baked goods, jams and jellies, my breads, cookies, baked goods, and some of those other food items, Alabama has cottage food laws. And I looked into it. I knew that was something I'd have to do. So I reached out to my local county health department, asked them to send me the paperwork. In the meantime, I knew I was going to have to take a food safe course. So I got on, Googled. One of the first ones that came up that said approved in Alabama, said it multiple times. It was the top one that came up. Clicked on that, went ahead, took that course so I'd be ahead of the game. Got my paperwork from them. They emailed it to me. Filled out the page that I needed to fill out with them. We made our sample labels because they need to see a sample of the labels. So I pulled all this together. Thought I was ahead of the game. Took it to the health department, dropped it off with her. And then a few days later, got a phone call. And she was super nice. It's not like I don't think she was trying to make it difficult for me. But there were a couple of, I think she called me 3 times that day with different things that either needed to be changed, done differently. My labels, the way I read it, I was under the impression that the part that had to be in a specific font was the part that said, this product was made I'm just, like, I can't remember it right off the top of my head. But this product was made in the kitchen, not inspected by the health department, may contain allergens. That part, I thought that was all that had to be in a specific font. Well, she told me that she wanted that font for the entire label, or that size font for the entire label. Okay, we can do that. The biggest thing that she told me was the course that I took was not an Alabama approved course, even though it was slapped all over everything that this website had out there. She was saying it wasn't. And when she sent me the packet, there was a page that had several different sites listed out that were approved. Because I had already took this course, because it said Alabama approved all over it, I didn't look at that real intently to make sure it was on there, because I just thought, well, I've already got it done. Well, she said, I'm not the first that has taken that course, but it's not approved. So she told me she had actually, because there were others that had taken it, she had already talked to that company, and I could reach out to them for a refund, which I did. But then, that's a whole process, and that was a whole process. But they did refund my money, and so now I have to retake the course. So I looked through the list of what she sent, and there's some I can do online. I think it looked like you had to have somebody watching you take the test. Now, some of that was online, like you could have a webcam and almost do like a Zoom thing, and they could watch you take the test. I don't know. I wasn't real sure about all that. I noticed down at the bottom that it said the state did a class at the extension offices. And so I started looking into that, and it was, 1, more affordable. 2, you could go in person. There was one that was online that's like a Zoom meeting. That's the one I ended up signing up for, because the one in my county wasn't until the very, very end of May. Now this one is still a couple of weeks out, but it's a little bit sooner. And I can do it at home. I will have to get on Zoom, but I can do it at home. But it was just a setback. And that happens. That happens with so many things in life, right? Whether it's starting a business, starting a little farm stand, building a home, buying a home, raising a family. There's just so many things in life that you think you can have it planned out to the T, every T crossed, every I dotted, and then something's going to come up. And that's just what happened. So we talked about, are we going to go ahead and open the farm? So we could open the farm stand with eggs, produce as soon as we start getting it in, our handcrafted items. Like, we could go ahead and open it with those things. But right now, we're not heavy into gardening season yet, or into harvesting season yet. So we were really planning to go a little heavy, opening it with canned goods and baked goods. And those are the things we can't offer until all this is situated. It's hard because I want to follow the rules, but sometimes the rules make me want to pull my hair out. Now, I won't get into all of my frustrations with it because, I have my own opinion about regulations and how much is regulated. And I can understand some of it. Some of it just frustrates me, and that's where I found myself dealing with that. But you know what? We're gonna get it fixed. It's a little something to work through. Let me show you what I'm doing to try to keep the birds and rabbits out of the garden. My pawpaw always hung these metal tins to keep birds and things out of the garden, and I've put a few out here. I put some here. I've put some over by the peas. I still need to put some by the flower garden, and I still need to go put some by the strawberries, but we put a few out here yesterday. And the idea is it's shiny, the wind blows, it moves, and hopefully it'll keep the birds and rabbits out of the garden. Tell you what though, these rabbits are they're just not afraid. We can almost walk right up to them. They're wild rabbits, and they just don't care. So what are we gonna do about that? We'll see. I thought it was birds because it looked like the radishes had just been completely pulled up. But then I got to looking a little closer and it kind of looks like the tops were nibbled off of some of them. So maybe it's a mixture. It's just one of those things you have to work through. So I got my pans out here. We'll see how those do for us. I just got a few other places to put pans. Y'all, I was thinking about our garden spaces this year and how many garden spaces we have, which we're starting our farm stand. We have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different garden space, in-ground garden spaces this year. Isn't that exciting? A lot of work, but really, really exciting when I think about it. We've got our back porch garden. This is right off our back porch. We've got a flower garden. We've got our potatoes and peas in a spot together. We're going to do the melons and the okra and some flowers back there where I showed you. We've got a big garden over close to, like on the other side of my mama's house. That's where corn and more vegetables, all that'll be over there. And then we've got our spot with our garlic. Usually David does squash out there too. I don't know what his plans are this year. I was thinking about that. Not counting any of the containers, 6 garden spaces this year. Stay tuned because it's going to be a fun one and hopefully very bountiful, but we'll see. I don't know if you can see the robins. Well, there's one of them right there. They thought about landing in the garden. They thought about landing in the garden and then saw that pan. And like they started to land, saw the pan, turn around and flew out real quick. So maybe that's a good sign. The rain has slowed down for a minute. The birds are singing. I meant to tell you while we were out at the farm stand and then it started raining on me and I thought, oh, I need to get back to the house. But they're not on the farm stand yet, but all of our signs are ready. Our banner's ready. We've got all of our packaging. Everything's ready. We're just waiting on go. Audrey, I let her pick the color scheme. So she picked the stain color that we used. And then, a lot of the farm stands you see when you Google it or look on Pinterest or wherever, they're very black and white, very rustic. And ours is going to be rustic, but Audrey wanted it to have color. And so she chose purple, blue, green, and yellow. And she made the signs in those colors. She did the banner in those colors. It's going to look nice. We may go ahead and put that stuff up this weekend just so it's there and ready. I might could still get out in this garden and do some weeding. It's pretty wet. We'll see. They're not going to go anywhere, are they? They'll still be there when I get out there to do my weeding. They're not going to leave. Thanks for letting me talk to you today about the farm stand, update you on it. It's real life, y'all, and that's what we share. I could have just not told you about this and just went on past it, and then when it came time to set up the farm stand and just go on like it was a walk in the park. But we share real life, and this is really part of it. This setback was really part of it. Now, when she called me from the health department that day, and she called me 3 times back to back to back, I was like, please don't call again. Like, unless you're telling me we're good, please don't call again. What's it going to be next? It just felt so frustrating. And then when I had time to think about it, make a plan, and start moving forward, it didn't feel so daunting or frustrating. It was just kind of in that moment, like, please don't call again and tell me anything else that I have to change. But now that we have a plan, we'll take care of it. And before long, the farm stand will be open, and this will hopefully be just a distant memory and lesson to learn from. And hopefully I gave y'all some helpful information. Hopefully it's helpful for y'all to see this as we go through this process. I mean, we've shared everything from the thought process to building the farm stand and now this, and then we'll share setting it up. I mean, we're going to share it all with you, and I know there were several of you that had questions about this, and so hopefully it helps you. If nothing else, maybe you just find it interesting to be able to follow along with this whole process. I think I'm going to go ahead and close this video out. Maybe I'll still be able to get out in the garden some today. We'll just have to see what this weather does. I love you. I appreciate you, and y'all, I mean that with all of my heart. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.